everyone, and welcome back to the RMTV Women's Podcast. And this is episode 100. Woo! Yeah! Confetti.
Can you believe it?
Woo! Fire!
Fire on the arm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that seems so long ago now. Like,
It is so
someone
long
tell
ago.
me which podcast that was, because I want to watch it again.
I'm pretty sure Dan might have mixed it. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a heck of a long time.
Very, very long time. Yeah, episode 100. Mad times. But we'll talk about that at the end. We'll do the sentimental stuff at the end. We'll get straight into
cry.
Well,
Before we cry.
yeah, just tears as soon as it starts. A few topics of discussion this week, including Liverpool's first game of the season at the weekend, the England squad for the September training camp, loads of awards, transfer news. Let's just get into it. Liverpool vs Durham was on Sunday, first game of the season. We've been building up to a new season since like the last one finished, like pretty much
since March. Yeah,
pretty much since March. So like we've been waiting to see Liverpool women play for so long. Finally, the day came. Sunday was the day. Yeah, it was a bit of a. That face that you just pulled is probably the emotion I also felt. Because
I think the word to sum it up would be slightly disappointing. Well, that's 2 words, but I think that would be it. But I think that's just from the fact that it has been built up so much as the season is like, we're going to absolutely smash it. And I genuinely thought that we would. Maybe that's just me being a bit naive and wanting it to happen so much. But when I was doing my post-match sort of chat, I feel like I was a bit harsh on the fact that I didn't take into account that it was the first game of the season. Like, I think that probably accounts for a lot of what we saw. But then equally, if we're wanting to sort of set out and succeed in what our aims are for like this season as a whole, it would have been nice to start it with a win and 3 points on the board and set that benchmark for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think also, like, the last podcast that me and you did, so obviously you did it with Emma last week, we said, like, how happy we were with how pre-season had gone so far. And obviously we pretty much won all of our games. I think we did win all of them. And then we'd even played, like, Brighton, Reading, Man United. Like, I think Man United was a 1-1 or a 0-0. So, like, that's like really good going. Like, we'd had a really good pre-season, but like I think we both alluded to the fact that in that podcast we said, oh, it's pre-season though. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't really judge that much on pre-season because it just never goes. Your season never goes the way pre-season did. Like last season, we won all our pre-season games or maybe drew one the same, and look how last season turned out. Like, you can just never judge it. But yeah, like you said, like you've got to take into account the reason that it was, opening day. I remember watching the first half in the airport, and I was like, within the first 5 minutes, I was like, we basically haven't like really done anything. Do you know what I mean? It was pretty much
nothing memorable.
Yeah, like we hadn't like. I think even just the fact that we still looked a bit nervous on the ball, and like which is like weird because considering how pre-season went, like this team's had a lot of time to gel together. It's not like they've just brought new signings in like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Like some of them have been here for a while now and been able to gel. I think it genuinely was just like first day nerves because there is a lot of pressure on us this season. There's been a lot of pressure on us since last season ended because obviously no one knew what was going to happen, whether we'd stay up, whether we'd get relegated. And obviously we're going into this season now with a lot of expectation on our shoulders, and like that's going to be really hard because the Championship's not an easy league.
No.
And like Durham proved that the other day. I think I was speaking to Emma, and she was like, I said to her, I was like, that was basically Durham's way of saying, oh, so you think you can just come straight in this league and then go straight back out again? It's like it doesn't work like that. Like, There's a lot
I agree.
there's a lot of really good teams in the Championship, and it is going to be a fight. But yeah, I think depending on this weekend's result, I think if we draw or lose that one potentially, then you're all going to sit down and think, right, okay, so you've two games have gone now. What else do we need to change before this third game? Because we can't go 3 or 4 matches in and not have a win, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I think the crucial game is this one coming up, but what you sort of said, and I completely agree with, is like that's a massive wake up call. I think me and you have both known for a long time, and we've said it several times on here, that the Championship isn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
And in a way, you hope that Liverpool needed that on the weekend to then use and then take and drive forward in the future. I think with any team who have been relegated and are in the league below and want to get promoted, there is a slight edge of complacency, and I think that's just natural. It's not pointing fingers at anyone, but I think it is natural. Anyone would do it regardless of what tier, what level you're playing at. It's just a natural sort of instinct. But I think hopefully the fact that Durham were so strong and had quite a lot of quality across the pitch, it gives the team a bit of a knock, and it knocks that complacency out of them. So hopefully they really use that to their advantage in the next few games. But yeah, as you said, this weekend's going to be massive, because if we lose again, if we don't pick up 3 points this weekend, it's gonna give me massive flashbacks to last season, and I don't think any fan wants to be in that position again, ever.
No, we definitely don't know. We'll obviously film a build-up show for that match, so keep your eyes peeled for that at some point. Probably go out Friday or Saturday, probably. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, and then obviously we'll do our best to do post-match stuff, but it is away in London, so I don't think either of us can really make it. And then obviously we don't know what the score is with the FA player, and that I doubt it's on there. So
I don't think it is on there.
Yeah,
unless they do it on LFC TV. I'm not sure. It depends if it clashes with the
maybe.
game.
I think that's like just like a little side. I think that should really be an option for us this season.
Yeah.
Whether that's like an actual thing that can be done, we've got no idea. But that should definitely be an option. Also, I remember when we used to like be able to watch it on Facebook Live as well. Like,
yeah.
Like,
well, it might be on that. We're not entirely sure.
Yeah.
It should. I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be announced frequently if it is, because they want to get as many people to watch, and we'll try find out as well.
Yeah.
Because we want to watch it more than anyone. Like this season, we've spoken about this quite a lot off camera. It's going to be so difficult for us as fans and us as a channel to bring content to the table if we've not seen the games. Like, this is throwback to the first year that we did this, where we couldn't watch the games and just had to sort of blag our way through what we thought had happened.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, us more than anyone wants to be able to watch these games. So we'll bear with us. I think same thing. We'll do as much as we possibly can with what we're given. But at the end of the day, I think it's reality that we're not going to be able to see every single game. Like, we're both in jobs as well, so we can't really afford or have the time to be travelling to and from London. Because most of the games
it's not a quick trip, do you know what I mean? So
no. I think the ones that more are around where we are, like the Conti Cup games, I'm sure we'll be able to get to. That's going to be exciting. And obviously, like the ones like Sheffield, Durham, I think are a little bit more accessible than going all the way from south.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all we can say is we're going to do our best.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll do our absolute best to keep you updated and whatnot and what's going on. But yeah, another thing from like this weekend's fixtures as a whole was that the Women's Football Show drew a total of 2.2 million viewers, which I think is like the most, or maybe like the second.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think it's the most that it's ever got, which, like, to me, speaking about like the fact that we've just said, oh, we can't watch games, we'll try and go to as many as we can. 2.2 million people tuned in to watch the highlights of the games over the weekend. Like,
and that's not even like the BT Sport games either. You don't.
no.
I haven't seen the viewing figures for the. Was it the
I think
United Chelsea game?
United
Was on
Chelsea, yeah.
City Villa. That was on the day before, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
we'll have to look at those views as well. But yeah, wow,
But like
crazy.
2.2 million is like a lot of people, and like I'm pretty sure that's like the most ever. So like that's taken into consideration like last season, off the back of last season's like World Cup as well. So like it's massive. This, you know, I feel like a broken record sometimes. When I'm like, oh, there's clearly like an audience and there's a scope and whatever. Like, because we know that is, like, we're not stupid, but
Yeah.
like, it's from like just like a women's football fan's perspective in general. It's frustrating that like you don't get access to every single game.
Yeah.
It's like even like every single championship game, like there's only I think it's pretty much only 1 or 2 championship matches that are played every weekend. Like that's not right. And
It's not fair, really, is it, on the fans that are wanting to see this and wanting to support?
Yeah. It's like you need to get more coverage for those teams because they're the ones who are trying to get like go full time and get more money into the club and be able to say this is an actual thing. Whereas like the
That's how you build that league as well.
Yeah, like that league needs more viewers in order for it to improve. So like, who knows? I think, you know, throughout the season it might get better. Obviously, everyone's still sort of discovering like what to do and how best to go about it. But yeah, fingers crossed, like throughout the season, the views will go up each time for both that like women's football show and for the like viewing figures for individual matches as well.
I had also a tiny little point to add, which was, I don't know if you noticed it, but when watching the FA player, I've seen a lot on online as well of how unhappy people were with the commentator for that game. And I think it's important to bring that up because I don't from my personal perspective, I didn't think that it was acceptable.
I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to the commentary, but I've seen I've seen people say about it.
It's really frustrating because there's so many people in this community who would absolutely kill for a job like that and would absolutely thrive in it and know their stuff rather than just throwing someone on there who maybe whoever did do it just take interest in women's football and it was just a bit of an off day, but from an outsider's perspective it didn't seem or didn't feel like they knew what they was talking about in terms of details about players. When you watch the Premier League, for example, the commentators know every single thing about each player on the pitch. And it just felt like that was lacking, and I think in order for that player to be successful they need to employ people and get people on who are passionate about the game and know everything there is to know about it. Otherwise I think the FA player is going to be a bit of a flop because I didn't enjoy listening to it. I enjoyed watching the game, but I didn't enjoy listening to it, and I think commentary really does make it sometimes. And it didn't feel like that to me at all.
I think this is a big season for the FA player in general because I think last season it didn't go down well at the very beginning. I think it had its perks, but it also had its problems.
And a lot of technical problems.
Yeah, so it's a big season for that app in general, and like you said, open weekends, and you've got a commentator on matches who like you said might just been having an off day or just a few dodgy moments, but people pick up on it, people listen to it, and
it was the lack of enthusiasm which got a lot of people as well. Like, this is the opening game, Liverpool's first game in the Championship. Durham came third last season. Like, it's not a tiny game, and he was speaking like it was a Sunday league afternoon, and I think that's why a lot of people did get frustrated because it almost felt like it didn't matter, but it was such a big game for a lot of people. And that's where it fell short.
Definitely. It's definitely something that like it'll be picked up on quite a lot this season. And yeah, it does need massive improvements. There's no point in sitting there being like, oh, like whatever, it's fine, like who cares? Because
like we're broadcasting the game. What more do they want?
Sometimes it does feel like that with about things. It's sometimes just like, well, it's on the telly, so why are you moaning about it? And it's like, yeah, it might be on the telly, but I'd rather have it on. I'd rather have it done right.
Oh yeah, for
Done
sure.
it all. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point in just doing something half-hearted? You might as well go all out and do it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
especially if they want it to, if they want the leagues to grow, for sure,
yeah.
because people are watching it internationally and they want it a good standard. So
Well, that's it. Yeah, and like especially like so like for the WSL series, like I was able to watch that on Twitch, being like a international fan. That's
yeah,
the same this season for like American viewers, for example. Like they're able to use the FA player now in America, and obviously they will because like Sam Lewis and Roosevelt and all that are coming over to City, so they'll all take a keen interest. But if you're not going to be able to give those fans the right information who are just watching some of these teams for the first time, then they're not going to learn anything about the clubs because they're just going to take the wrong information in.
exactly. Yeah, very much so. I agree.
So yeah,
I think it's just worth highlighting that
yeah,
we weren't like, extremely happy with it either.
yeah, definitely. One like well, supposedly an exciting thing is that England women are back for a camp this month, September. The first time since February, I want to say.
I have no
I
idea.
think like is this the first one since She Believes? I think it might be because obviously we went into lockdown in like March. It might have been like
I can't remember the She
I can't
Believes.
remember. This year is just a whole blur in general. But yeah, Phil Neville has announced his squad for September's training camp. Training camp. We're both laughing because there was a conversation before. Yeah, okay, never mind. Some of the usual faces are obviously in and amongst the squad, but some senior players / regulars haven't been called in due to like COVID measures and like quarantine rules and stuff like that. So, like Tony Duggan, for example, is in the squad because obviously she's in Madrid, and when you come back from Spain, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So
Not worth it.
yeah, it just wouldn't work. So, and plus it's just a training camp anyway. I don't think there's any matches or that. So, but for those new faces, well, I'll go through them all now. So, the new faces include defenders Millie Turner, Esme Morgan, and Lottie. Is it Wubben-Moy?
Couldn't tell you.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if not. And then midfielders are Niamh Charles, Katie Zellum, and Ella Toone. And then obviously the new forward is Rinzola Babajide. So we'll talk about Rins because obviously Liverpool and stuff like that. It's her first call into the senior squad, which is huge for her. Obviously she's been involved in like the England setup all the way throughout like the development stages, but she's given a chance now on the big stage. I think it's thoroughly deserved considering coming off the back of last season. The last couple of matches we played last season, she did perform really well. Obviously, she scored a lot of goals for us, and I think even just that there was a few moments on Sunday where she really performed well. So I think it's thoroughly deserved. I'm pretty sure you probably agree with me.
Oh yeah, I think it's. I was quite like, oh, okay. I wasn't like expecting it. To be completely honest, I didn't realise he was announcing a squad until he announced it.
I wasn't expecting any international football, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's international games. I was like, okay.
I was like, oh, okay, that's today, is it? Fab. So I wasn't like predicting anything because I wasn't aware. But I was like, yeah, I think it's only right, and I think it's pretty clear that he's really trying to integrate the youth into the side as it is, which to me sort of indicates that, I mean, he might be booting a few of the more senior players out of the team in a year or not a few months, but in however long to come. Yeah. So he's really integrating these players now, which I think is great, because you'd expect the Niamh Charleses, the Esme Morgans to be a part of the senior squad for a long time to come and compete at the major tournaments as a Lioness. So I think it's great for them to come in and learn from the likes of Horton, Telford, etc. So yeah, it's cool. I like it. And I think from when the tweet we put out of Rince being absolutely blew up. So I think she's buzzing.
Yeah.
I think we're really happy for her as well, and she'll do great.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll do great, and I think like obviously it's like a little bit of a soft spot for Neve Charles as well, because obviously she came through at Liverpool, she's only just left us, so like it's nice to see her in amongst that squad as well. But yeah, like there's a lot of talent there.
Oh yeah.
Like Katie Zellum as well, like she's like an experienced midfielder, do you know what I mean? She's not just fresh onto the scene. Like obviously the last couple of seasons she's really like performed well for Man United, but I think that's totally deserved for her as well, because she's been a proper rock in that Man United midfield. And it is hard. England, like the Lionesses, do have a really talented squad, so it is hard for them to obviously get rid of so many, you know, trustworthy players. I think it might have been one of the camps last year where like he literally just named the same camp like twice in a row, and everyone so I was like, well, bring some new people in, like give other people an opportunity. And now like he has, and like this is like a perfect opportunity for all the young players, especially with the next couple of years with so many major tournaments that we've got going on, to be like, hello, I'm here, I'm ready, like give me an opportunity.
Yeah, it's like also when you think of that list, I'm just looking at it now, like you've got people like Stanway on there already who are literally the same age as the likes of Neve Charles and Rince, and she's been in the squad for at least a year or so now. Chloe Kelly.
Yeah,
Williamson, Roebuck, they're all so young. Exactly. So it's crazy to think that we've got such a good mix of both experienced and not. And I think it's also nice to see Frank Kirby back in there as well after so long. But then equally, there's been absolute uproar on social media that Gemma Bonner has not been
literally
included. I just don't know what this girl's got to do. I genuinely have not a Scooby.
Like not to be like harsh on Gemma Bonner, but I think if you're not getting in this training camp, you're not getting in. But like I don't understand why. Like what's
she got to do? That's the question.
Literally, I think that was like the general, like most of the tweets that like we saw was just like, well, what more can she do? And it's like genuinely like the girl, like she's an amazing defender. Like she basically starts for City every week. You don't just start for Man City women every week if you're rubbish, you know what I mean? If you're not worthy of an England call-up. Like, it's just baffling. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, but, I mean, you never know. She might get an opportunity, but...
You'd hope.
I'm not sure. Staying on the England women front, apparently England women have been receiving equal pay since January.
Exciting.
When this came out, I was just sort of like, right, okay, but like, why have you only said it now?
Why haven't you said it in January?
Yeah, because obviously it was announced that Brazil will be introducing equal play for their national team. Like a few national teams have done that for the past couple of like, especially like the last year or so. Obviously, there's a whole USA equal pay debate going on. That's pretty much, there's something about that every day, I feel like. And then England is just like, oh yeah, we've been doing it since January, by the way, you know. We're like hi, and you're just like, okay, but why are you saying it now? Like,
it came like 3 days after the Brazil one as well, so it's like, oh, anything you can do, I can do better.
We've already done it, but we just haven't said.
Woo! Like, okay. I mean, we joke, but it's a brilliant thing. It's an amazing thing, and I didn't see it coming for a long time. But what is the difference when you look at it? What is the difference? They train the same amount of time with the England squad. They play, maybe the men play edge it a little bit in terms of how often they play, but why would you not play them the same?
You've got to base it off like success as well. Like obviously we had like obviously the men's World Cup 2018 and the women's World Cup 2019. We both finished like around the same position. The last women's World Cup, we obviously finished third. No idea where England men finished in the World Cup before that. Not a clue. We've obviously won She Believes last year. Like we would have had the Euros this year. Like we did well in Euro 2017. Like we do actually perform quite well on the international stage. Sometimes better than the men. if you look back over the last couple of years, especially like World Cup wise, I'm sure there'll be, you know, the usual person who are like, oh well, that's not the same. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. So yeah, I think it is. I think in terms of like the England women, it's well deserved. But I can't get over the fact that like it was just such the most bizarre announcement you'll ever have in your life.
It's like, oh yeah,
hey,
look at us, we've done it. I'm like,
do you know what? I think that's a big problem we have with women's football in this country. There's so many teams that do it so well. Apologies if you just said the dog, like, what he did. Make a big noise. There's so many teams who do like social media and announcements and like, you know, interaction with fans so well. Then there's so many. Some of them don't have like the capacity to do it, like the opportunity to do it. But then like there's so many just don't do anything at all. And then they're just like, yeah, there's like 7 players, and you're like, okay. Or like, here's a new player announcement. You're like, okay, like I think
they need to. It was better. It was weird. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It was just like,
here's
information. There you go. And everyone was like, thank you, bye.
Yeah. Like, buzzing, we'll take it, but like, where was this announcement like 9 months ago, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just realised that it's September.
Yeah.
From January, like I was thinking like 4 months. I'm still March or something. Me, I was thinking like, oh, it's only been like 3 months. It's not. It's been like 9. So, what we's just never gonna tell us, basically. So
they were just like, whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, it is like a really nice thing, and I'm like very happy that, you know, that's something that we've been implementing for a while. But long may it continue. Hopefully, it continues for a lot more countries.
I agree.
Yeah. Pfa Awards. So Bethany England has been named the PFA Players Player of the Year, and then Lauren Hemp has been named the PFA Young Player of the Year. I don't think I can argue with either of those. I think they probably would have been my votes if I had a vote.
Yeah.
Bethany England definitely had the best season of her career last year, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Lauren Hemp was very much a breakout star, both for Man City and for England. So yeah, thoroughly agree with both of those.
I'd probably throw for young player Chloe Kelly into the mix there. I think it would have been between those two, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or Stanway as well, but she was injured for a portion of it, wasn't she? But yeah, I'm happy with that. I think, yeah. I mean, Miedemar's up there really again, isn't she?
Wins everything though.
Yeah, honestly. But I think, Bethany England deserves that.
Yeah.
And it'll do bounds for her going forwards.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if you ask anyone else, they probably would have said the same thing. In fact, I am going to ask everyone else. Let us know who your PFA Player of the Year would have been for both old and young.
Old.
Senior and young.
Yeah, thoroughly agree with both of those. Happy with them. Bit of transfer talk.
Should have been me and you. You're older than me, so
you would have got the young one. No.
Why? I'm younger.
I know, but I it's not that long.
It's like 2 months.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, whatever. Transfers.
Woo!
Obviously the big one is the fact that Lucy Bronze has rejoined Manchester City Women. It was announced yesterday. I think it was just a case of when for this announcement. It's been going on for a while. But yeah, like big moves for City. City are not messing about this summer. Chelsea aren't messing about this summer. Arsenal aren't messing about this summer. United aren't messing about this summer. It's like, okay, cool. Like, this league is going to be unbelievable to watch this season. And then also, obviously, Alex Greenwood has been announced as a Manchester City Women's player as well in the last hour or so. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
Why
I
it's
just think,
weird, you know?
well,
Like, I'm not being funny. If we talk through the players that have joined the WSL this season, so Sam Kerr's still pretty new. Let's be honest, one of the
yeah,
best
she played
players
like a couple
ever.
of games, didn't she?
Pernille Harder has just joined Chelsea, which is just.
Oh my God, yeah.
Lucy Bronze has come back. Alex Green has come back. Who else has that? Rachel Daly's come to West Ham.
Yeah. Obviously, Sandra Roosevelt for City.
Yeah, that's two more. And then you had Steph Catley to Arsenal.
Yeah.
That was big.
Like Caitlin Ford's still like a new signing as well for Arsenal. They've got loads of other Aussies as well. They brought the goalkeeper, which her name deceives me. What's your goalkeeper?
Oh, who else is there? There's absolutely, well, even that's like 9 world-class players. And then there's also the rumour that Tobin Heath and Kristen Prescott. So that's 11.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we can't even talk about it because we don't know.
It'll make me sad.
Yeah.
It'll make me sad.
We're gonna go though. If they do, we've got to go. We'll go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have United in the Conti Cup, so if they do go, we can go.
Oh my God. You know I'm getting a picture of Tobin Heath. Don't even care.
I will take it for you.
I'll be all over that. Oh my God. Can you imagine me if like Tobin Heath just like walked past? I'd be like,
well, I feel like Tobin Heath for you is what Lucy Bronze is for me.
Yeah.
So we're going to be playing Lucy Bronze as well. Woo!
Oh my God.
See, this is how me and Lauren are like off camera all the time.
They're
in
like,
terms of
oh my God.
Yeah. Honestly, you should have seen us when the news of Rose Neville broke. We were there like, it was so crazy.
This is madness. Absolute madness.
It's just so exciting. I'm like, on one half, so gutted that Liverpool aren't like going against these players week in, week out, but then I'm so happy because I don't want to lose against them. So
we can just admire from afar because we're just.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You go. You know what I mean? You're not going to play against us. You know, obviously we'll face some of them in the Conti Cup, but then you don't have to play them like twice in the league. You know what I mean? It just Yeah. So
it gives us an excuse to go to more different games for sure.
Well, like
imagine City versus United.
Oh my God, I know. But like Everton played Chelsea at home. I think like the end of this month in the cup. Like I think it's like FA Cup like replays from last year. And like I was like, well, Liverpool and obviously I'm going to play that weekend because we're not in the cup. Unless we do, I've got no idea. But I was like, I'm going to that match because I want to see Sam Kerr play live. That's all I'm going for. I'm not going to support anyone.
Imagine if we got to spoke to Sam Kerr.
Yeah, well, I might not even be able to now, obviously, for like, coronavirus reasons. But the way Walton Hall Park's set up, you can actually just go to the park and you can still see it through the railings. So but
we're not inflicting that behaviour in any way.
No, I'm going on my own. Do not do it.
I love how we're saying like, yeah, we're gonna go this game and that game, but we can't go any game.
Yeah, because like genuinely, like the Conti Cup ones, like you genuinely still might not be able to go. Like,
really sad. I think, well, Arsenal and West Ham, I believe, are having a trial this weekend with fans. So if that goes successfully, they could be implementing it further down the line, which I hope. I think we're quite in a great position with the Liverpool women's side of things because we get that press access.
Yeah.
We've been said we can go to some of them, so we're quite lucky in that way. We can't go to any of the others, which is really sad.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that sooner rather than later we get to enjoy this amazing season, not just in the Championship but in the WSL as well. Like, I just want to be able to enjoy it because I don't think that these kind of seasons are going to come around too often because of the situation of the NWSL.
Like a lot of these players, like Samuel Roosevelt, they're 1-year deals. Like Rachel Daly's only a loan. Like if Heath and Press sign, that'll probably only be like a year or like a loan for so long. So it's just like,
you don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it. Yeah, exactly. So fingers crossed at some point this season we'll all be back in the stadiums together and we can just watch some football.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100 episodes, Amy. Wow.
I know. What on matching t-shirts too.
I know. I had mine on when we came on the Zoom and she was like, I need to put mine on. I need to get mine.
I can't believe that it's been 100 episodes. Like, when that first one was horrible, but I feel like each time we do something better, like we're still doing like something better now, like even like the way that we say like a point that we're trying to make, or whether it's like the editing side, whether it's like our thumbnails, even like tiny things like that, I think we still make a change each time. So I definitely don't think RMTV Women's Pod as a whole is like a finished product at all yet. I don't think it ever will be, because we're always going to be like thinking of new ways to change it. But if you look at like what we were doing at the start, in terms of even content wise, to like what we do now, it's so different. But it's like great. I love it. I love the fact that we like evolve and fit a situation. Like even Zoom, like we're making it work as best as we can. So it's crazy.
And like Zoom is what's going to be for like the foreseeable, for obvious reasons and stuff like that. I mean, obviously Amy's back in Harrogate as well, and Liverpool, so it's like we're going to try.
I think it works.
Yeah, like we're making the most, and we're going to try and make the best of like the worst situations that we could possibly be in at the moment. Obviously, like when we can go to games together, we'll both go together. There might be a game where only I go or only Amy goes, and it's, you know, it's going to be hard, but it's like at the end of the day, it's probably worth it. In like,
it's definitely worth it.
And
like I couldn't imagine life without this.
Yeah, like it's just second nature, isn't it? It's just like over the weekend or on a Monday, we're like, pod Wednesday, what time? If it's like, oh no, I can't do Wednesday, can we do this day? Or I'm not free this week, can you get someone on, or whatever? Like, it's just, I think be able to work around everything.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. I think there's no like we mentioned it, we both now work, so like we fit. I mean, I fit this in my lunch hour, so it's like you it's so strange. Like it's a really weird feeling, but no matter how challenging or difficult it does get, I never see it as an option of being like, no, we'll just skip that. Do you know what I mean? I never see that as an option, and I think that's because we've done it for so long. Like 100 episodes, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's mad, but
we still love it.
Still fun. We're not sick of it yet, so imagine 2 episodes times, the channel's over, it's finished.
I know, titled We Quit.
We're off.
Yeah. No,
me and Amy just have a big massive argument, and we're just like, no.
Imagine like the biggest plot twist ever, we actually don't get on.
Imagine off camera we hate each other.
Yeah, no, we don't.
As soon as I clap at the end of this, it's like, right, okay, bye.
See ya. No, it's not the case.
Yeah.
But hey,
100 episodes. Thank you to everyone who's like, you know, watched. If you've been here, if you watched our very first podcast and you're watching this one, I mean, hopefully you didn't get bored and are still with us. But yeah, if you've watched all of them, let us know below. Thank you very much.
Some names. We see the familiar names each time. We know who you are.
But yeah, we've got like a couple of new subscribers as well. So yeah, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy our content. I
love all the comments that we get as well. Like genuinely sit and read through all of them. And reply to like ones that require an answer. Sometimes we just read them and don't need to reply, but genuinely we always appreciate any comments or any tweets that we get. So definitely keep making sure that you're sending them in and we can have a nice chat.
Yeah, and like interact with us on social media and that as well, because you know we're always on there. We don't miss.
We're always on Instagram. I think that's our biggest one at the moment, and we're growing that one quite well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, best app.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag not an ad.
I wish.
But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. Like we said, let us know all your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you all with a new video at some point in the next couple of days regarding Liverpool's match. But we'll see you next week for a new podcast. Episode 101. It's going to be a mouthful now, isn't it, to say?
Dalmatians.
Yeah. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.